Your dad was a communist. He sounds like
He
an
was.
absolutely amazing guy. He's apparently a great sense of humour.
He was funny, and he was a prankster, and he was but he came from um, Sheepshead Bay, which was a rough part of Manhattan, Brooklyn.
He was in
outside
Brooklyn.
And then they put him on the ships, and it was the immigrant. He was an immigrant, came here, and he worked in the factories. I think he was about 11, and he was in the brick factories in Liverpool, and that's when they threatened to run away from home, him and his brothers and sisters, and then they moved them out of those factories and down to, I think, the paper mills at the beginning, but certainly the hop fields. Went straight into the hop fields in Kent, and he went to school at the same time, a bit, but he was self-taught. And then the war when he was 17. So, yeah.
Last week we did a really interesting debate, Tim, about fathers and sons, and it's widely documented what your grandfather did to your father and to you, and
Dick.
Yeah, for want of a better word, that's probably the nicest definition you could do of him. How do you think he broke the chain of abuse? How did he make sure that what was visited upon
my
him,
dad,
that wasn't visited on his own children?
He didn't. Oh, he broke the chain, as in he wasn't an abuser, but he just went inside himself. He didn't. There was, and the British are really crap at this. But and when I was growing up, it was the case. Nobody had counselling, nobody had therapy. That was what Americans did, and it was kind of pretentious. Now that's changed, and that's very, very cool. There is some kind of therapy available to people, unless these guys just scrap it, NHS, right? So, but that was not available to me. You just had to make do. My dad drank himself into a hole. That's how he dealt with it, you know. And that's what killed him. I got a bit of help. First of all, I made a film about it, and then. My mates who were working with me on the film put me with a great shrink in London while I was working on it, and I just figured that you could do that. I mean, and as a parent, you're successful and you're not successful. It's a roll of the dice. But
did he ever say, because we had this conversation about the generations, and there was a lot coming out from men who were saying that their fathers were just not of a generation that would have ever said "I love you, son," or give you lots of hugs and cuddles. It just wasn't.
My dad was up for that.
Right. Okay.
Oh yeah, he wasn't that person. No, and I am that. With my boys.
So how did you break the chain? Because you've talked widely about how your grandfather was abusive to not only you but to your father.
Well, I don't know who else he was. He might have been. It might have been other people. I don't know. He never got nicked.
There was no reckoning for him at all.
He should have gone to jail. But the thing is, the problem with it is, I kept the secret. And this is the thing that people who are getting raped or whatever by family members or whoever, you just go to the police. Make the call. Easy. You think it's hard, and it's not. All you got to do is speak. But they take your voice away. That, you know, the first acting gig I had was to let the world think that wasn't happening. That was my first acting job, was performing his innocence. And of course, I should have just nailed the bastard. But that's what you do, and it just takes a bit of somebody who's been down that road to give you a hand, to be vocal.
Did he threaten you not to do it, or
no? It's their directors. We're the actors, and they're directors. It's manipulation. I mean, you cannot. The fear he must have lived with, but I didn't realize that until much later. He was on a knife edge, that guy. I could have just pushed him, toppled him right over. But no, it's real manipulation. It's what do they call it? Stockholm
syndrome. Yes,
syndrome,
when you feel you are
you looking after your abuser. You're making sure they're okay. You're enabling.
And was he a constant presence in your life?
No, he was he was the they were the family. It was our summer holiday. You know, so we go down because they lived in a sort of 2 up 2 down in Devon, which is where I shot The War Zone. Right there. Yeah.
Therapy via filmmaking.
Pretty much. Yeah. Yeah.
And did you feel completely unburdened at the end of it? Did you feel lighter as a human being?
Actually, it was like, blimey, because I was taking the film around and showing it and having to talk about it all the time. And by the end of it, I was like, oh, I'm done. But no, when I read the book, that it was taken from Alexander Stewart's book, he got it wrong, elements of it. And I knew that. And when I talked to him, I said, I can fix this because I know this. And really, I didn't want to make a film about that. But I felt that if it was going to be made, it should be made by somebody who knew the subject. And so I just made sure that I could get the feeling of it across to the audience.
Was there a rage inside of you because of that?
Not really. I started talking about it with my family when I was about 25, around there. And I went, oh, this is easy. It was like, oh, I get it. You're supposed to talk. And so did. And then it just immediately, I got rid of it all. Yeah.
That's amazing. And then how does it affect your own relationships with your sons and the kind of father you want to be?
Well, I'm a pain.
That's probably nothing to do with...
I tell you, I also, I'm a distant parent to my London boy. I'm a more present parent to my American boys, but then I leave them. Part of my job is to bugger off, really. So I am ridiculed. I am, I'm at that point now where they just make fun of me all the time. They roll their eyes and, oh, Jesus, here he goes. That kind of thing. But I think I'm a responsible guy, generally.
Are you a disciplinarian? Are you the good cop or the bad cop?
I get my dad voice out occasionally. I can get it out.
Ooh.
But
where would we have heard the dad voice in a movie?
Yeah. But that being said, no, I'm not the one. I'm more the one that's sort of confused, and my wife is the one who's on a finger on the pulse. Yeah, but I'm the one that's sort of a bit. What happened? What did I miss? I'm that guy.
I was interviewing a music artist, and I was saying, how difficult is it to persuade someone that it's going to be very difficult to love them more than you love the thing that you do?
Oh, for me, it's not a competition. The job that I have, I love. It's not even a job. It's ridiculous. And then, but the love that you have for your children, even when they drive you crazy, it just is a thing. It's just you can't. It's not something you practice. It just is. So I'm just besotted with them.
We're running out of time, clearly, because we've been I've taken up loads of your time. Sorry about that. What's next, Tim? I mean, do you have a checklist, a bucket list of things that you want to, apart from being in every Tarantino movie?
I don't have a plan, and I really don't at all. And so I'm surprised by it, and I kind of like it that way. There are certain things I'd like to have happen
that haven't as yet.
Yeah, I'd like to work with Kate Blanchett. That would be cool. Stuff like that. But I don't really have a game plan. Some actors do. I just don't see how it's possible, really, because I don't know where the next job's coming from.
Well, look, you keep working, and looking at the BBC pay thing, you're doing well.
Doing all right. Oh yeah. I thought that was rather good, by the way, that they did that.
Why?
I just think, why not?
You don't mind knowing? I mean, it's a very British thing to not talk about money.
I guess a toss. Certainly No, I don't think that's the problem. It's a public company.
Funded by people.
You still have a license.
Yeah,
right?
of course.
So I'm employed by the public when I work for the Beeb. And my job is also to entertain the public. And if I don't do it very well, they let me know. But I never thought it was I was quite amused by it. I didn't really think much of it. Was it a big deal here?
Big deal, massive, especially the gender pay gap. That was a massive deal.
Yeah. I got into a bit of. I was asked about that. It's something that we talk about amongst ourselves, the actors. I mean, you get what women get as opposed to what men get. My worry was that what they would do was drop the level instead of raising the level for women.
Well, we don't know what's going to happen yet,
right? Yeah. And I was like, wait a minute, be careful now. The women they need a raise. That's the.
I'm surprised that you and other actors talk about it, because you would think that you would be very kind of secretive about how much you earn and what you're getting paid for things.
Not really. I mean, no. We chat about it. We talk about it, and the fact that women do, get paid less for doing the same gig is just absurd. All that shit should have been over a long time ago. I'm just amazed it's still around.
Tim, you absolute ledge. Thank you very much indeed.
Cheers, man. Yeah,
for coming out and hanging out with us today.
It's all good.